Chapter 1. The Last Day at Work. My name is Arjun Sen. Today was my last day at work. For over 30 years, I poured my heart into the same company. As I left the office for the final time, my colleagues clapped. They gave me flowers and a small gift, a pen with my name on it. They said kind words and I smiled, but deep inside, my heart felt heavy. That office wasn't just a workplace. It was my second home. Still, I told myself, now my life is free. I'll spend my days with my wife, Meera, and enjoy time with my children and grandchildren. When I got home, Meera was waiting. Her eyes were warm, like always. "How was your last day, Arjun?" she asked softly. I said, "It was good, Meera." They said nice things. But you know what? Our real life starts now. We gave our kids everything. Education, homes, a good name. Now they'll fight to have us stay with them. They'll say, "Ma Baba, come live with me first." I'm sure of it. Meera smiled with pride. "Of course, Arjun, our kids love us. They'll never let us feel alone." Her words were full of hope, and I wanted to believe them. But while we talked, our 3 sons, Vikram, Samir, and Rohan, were in another room. I didn't know what they were saying. Later, I learned the truth. They weren't fighting to keep us close. They were arguing to push us away. Vikram said, "I can't keep them. My wife doesn't want parents living with us." Samir said, "I don't have enough money. It'll be too much if they stay." Rohan, the youngest, said, "My house is too small. There's no extra room." They argued and argued, then made a plan. That evening they came to us, all smiles. Vikram spoke first. "Ma Baba, we've talked. We love you and want you with us. But to make it fair, we decided you'll stay with us turn by turn. 3 months with me, 3 months with Samir, 3 months with Rohan. This way, no one feels pressure." For a moment, I couldn't process it. I looked at Meera. Her smile faded. She was silent. I tried to speak, but my voice trembled. "So, you're saying you can't keep us together? You want to split our lives into 3-month pieces?" My chest tightened. All my years of hard work, all my dreams crumbled. We gave them our youth, our savings, our love. And now we were a burden. Meera held my hand tightly. Her fingers shook, but she didn't speak. I wanted to cry, but I stayed strong. I told myself, "Arjun, you have no choice. You're retired. The company house is gone. You must accept this." With a heavy heart, I nodded. "If this is your decision, we'll agree." That night I couldn't sleep. I stared at the ceiling thinking, is this the life I wanted? My heart knew the answer. Chapter 2. A House, Not a Home. When Meera left with Samir, my heart felt empty. For the first time in decades, we weren't walking into the same house together. We'd shared every moment, meals, laughter, quiet nights. Now our own children had torn us apart. Before she left, Meera squeezed my hand. "It's only 3 months, Arjun," she whispered. "We'll be together again soon." I forced a smile, but I knew 3 months without her would feel like a lifetime. At Vikram's house, my grandson Aryan ran to me. His tiny arms hugged my legs. "Dadu, stay with me. Tell me your stories." His voice was pure, his love real. I knelt down, kissed his forehead, and said, "I'll always tell you stories, Aryan." For a moment his love eased my pain. Kids don't care about money or house size. They just love. But that first dinner broke my heart. I sat at the dining table, in the middle seat, like I always did at home. It felt like the father's place. But Priya, my daughter-in-law, looked at me and said, "Baba, that's Vikram's seat. Can you move to the side?" My heart sank. I looked at Vikram, hoping he'd say, "No, let Baba sit there." But he just stared at his plate. Silently, I moved to the corner. The food was the same, but it had no taste. They talked about work, bills, and Aryan's school. I sat quietly, swallowing my pain along with the meal. Days passed. Vikram went to work, Priya ran the house, Aryan went to school. I was left alone in empty rooms. I'd sit by the window or walk in the small garden, wanting to help, wanting to talk. But no one asked. No one listened. I wasn't a father here, just a guest. One evening, Vikram said, "Baba, we're going out. Aryan wants pizza. We'll bring food back for you." I nodded. "Enjoy, son." I wanted to say, "Take me with you. I just want to be near you." But my lips stayed sealed. They left, and the house grew silent. I sat by the door, waiting. Hours passed, the clock ticked. No one came. I turned the lamp on, then off. I opened the door, looked outside, then closed it. Finally, I sat in the dark, my head in my hands. Sleep came, but it wasn't restful. It was heavy with sadness. In the morning, Vikram handed me a bag. "Here's food from last night, Baba. You should have told us if you didn't want it. We wasted money." His words weren't angry, but they cut deep. I wanted to shout, "I waited all night for you. I wanted to sit with my family, not eat cold pizza alone." But I only nodded. My voice was gone. That night, I opened the gift from my last day at work, the pen and a small diary. I wrote, "I thought my children would fight to keep me close. Instead, they fight to keep me away. Only Aryan's love keeps me going, but this house is silent." My hand shook, but the diary listened. It became my only friend. Chapter 3. Meera's Silent Pain. Meera went with Samir, our second son. When she left, I kept looking back, trying to catch her last glance as she got into his car. At night, I wondered, is she okay? Does she miss me like I miss her? Later, on the phone, she told me about her first days. Samir's house was small, 2 bedrooms, one for him and his wife, Neha, and one for their son, Rishi. There was a tiny storeroom for their maid. When Meera arrived, Samir said, "Ma, you can share Rishi's room. Just keep your things to one side." Meera tried to smile, but Rishi, a teenager, wasn't happy. "Dad, I need my space," he said. Meera's heart sank. She said, "It's okay, Samir. I'll manage." Neha added, "The maid can sleep in the living room. Ma, you can take the storeroom." The storeroom? My Meera, who once had her own beautiful home, now slept among dusty boxes. She told me she spread a sheet on the floor and lay awake, staring at the ceiling, remembering our old days, our cozy kitchen, our shared cups of tea. But her pain didn't stop there. Rishi didn't like her presence. One day, Meera saw him texting someone late at night. Worried, she said, "Rishi, be careful who you talk to. You're young." Instead of listening, he snapped, "This is my life, Dottie. Stay out of it." His words stabbed her heart. She told me, "Arjun, I felt like a stranger in my son's house. Even my advice wasn't welcome." Meera never complained. On the phone, she'd say, "Samir and Neha are good to me. Don't worry, Arjun." But I knew her voice. I heard the pauses, the hidden tears. She was hiding her pain, just like I was hiding mine. We both wanted to protect each other. One evening, she took out her old sewing kit. She sat in the living room, stitching slowly, not to make anything, but to feel the comfort of old times. When Neha said, "Ma, why don't you rest in your room?" Meera smiled and returned to the storeroom. Later, she whispered to me, "Arjun, even the sound of stitching makes me feel less alone." That night I closed my eyes and prayed, "God, give Meera strength. Give us both strength." Chapter 4. Lonely Nights, Hidden Truths. Nights were the hardest. When Vikram and Priya closed their bedroom door and Aryan slept, the house turned silent. I sat on the small bed they'd given me, in a corner. The silence wasn't peaceful. It was heavy, pressing on my chest. During those hours, I'd call Meera. The moment I heard her voice, my eyes filled with tears. "Arjun, how are you?" she'd ask. I wanted to tell her the truth. "I'm a guest here, Meera. They leave me behind." No one asks about my day, but I swallowed my pain and said, "I'm fine. Aryan keeps me company." She paused, then said, "I'm fine too. Samir and Neha are kind. Rishi's just busy." Her voice was heavy. I knew she was lying, just like me. This became our routine. Every night we asked, "Are you eating well?" "Yes, don't worry." Are you sleeping okay? Yes, I'm fine. But behind our words were tears. After each call, I wrote in my diary. We're two broken hearts, telling half-truths to protect each other. We're more alone than ever. One evening, I walked to a park near Vikram's house. I sat on a bench watching families laugh and talk. My heart ached. Meera should be here, I thought. We should be sharing stories of our youth, our dreams. Instead, she was in a storeroom alone. A child ran by laughing, and I wiped my eyes, pretending it was the cold air. Another night, Meera told me something that broke me. Arjun, Rishi yelled at me today. I only told him to be careful, but he said, "Stay out of my life." I felt like nothing, not even his grandmother. I wanted to hold her, to say, "You're everything to me," but all I could whisper was, "He's young, Meera. He doesn't understand." After the call, I held the phone, staring at it, her pain lingering in my hands. Aryan sometimes asked, "Dadu, why do you sleep alone? Why not with us?" His words cut deep. I smiled and said, "Dadu likes his corner, Aryan." But inside I thought, even a child sees I'm pushed away. One night I opened our old photo album. I looked at pictures of my sons as kids, holding our hands, needing us. Now they only needed us in 3-month slices. I touched the photos and whispered, "What changed? Did we fail you, or did you fail us?" In my diary, I wrote, "We gave our children everything. Now we walk carefully, speak carefully, live like strangers in their homes." The ink blurred with my tears. Chapter 5. The Diary's Voice. Every day felt the same. Wake up, eat quietly, watch others live, sleep alone. My diary became my escape. Each night, after talking to Meera, I wrote with the pen from my colleagues. The diary never judged, never interrupted. It listened. One morning, I couldn't stay in Vikram's house anymore. I told him I was going for a walk. He nodded, uninterested. I found a small cafe nearby. The smell of coffee and the sound of soft chatter welcomed me. The owner, a kind man named Anil, smiled. "Coffee, sir?" I nodded and sat in a corner. That was the first day I wrote outside. I wrote about the dinner table, the cold pizza, the silent nights, Meera's pain. Tears fell on the page, but no one noticed. The diary held everything. I started going to the cafe every day. Anil would bring me coffee and a quiet smile. He saw my trembling hands, my heavy eyes, but never pried. One day, I made a mistake. I left my diary on the table. That night, I panicked. What if someone reads it? The next morning, Anil handed it back. "You forgot this, sir." I kept it safe. His eyes were wet. He hesitated, then said, "I'm sorry." I opened it to find a name or number, but I read your words. I couldn't stop. I cried, sir. "How can a father feel such pain and stay silent?" I whispered. "Because no one listens, Anil. Meera suffers too, but if I tell her my pain, hers will double. My kids are too busy. This diary is all I have." Anil sat beside me. "I'm Anil Sharma. I lost my father years ago. I was too busy to sit with him. Now I live with regret. Your words, sir, they're powerful. They're not just yours. They could help others." I shook my head. "No, Anil. These are private." He looked at me gently. "Sometimes private pain can heal the world. If your story makes even one child value their parents, it's worth it." His words stayed with me. That night I wrote, "Maybe my pain isn't just mine. Maybe it belongs to others too." Chapter 6. A New Beginning. Anil's words echoed in my mind. Your pain can heal others. I resisted at first. I'm too old to share my story. What do I know about books? But Anil was persistent. One morning he said, "Let me help you, sir. I know a small publisher. We'll type your diary, keep every word as it is." I sipped my coffee, unsure. "These pages are my heart, Anil. If I give them away, what's left?" He replied, "You'll have freedom. Right now, your pain is a heavy load. Sharing it will lighten you, and maybe your kids will see you differently." That night, I called Meera. "Do you think anyone would care about our story, about parents who gave everything and got silence in return? She was quiet, then said, Arjun, so many parents feel like us. If our story makes them feel less alone, it's worth it. Her voice was stronger than before. The next day I told Anil, okay, let's try, but don't change a word. He smiled. I promise your truth stays yours. We started working. Every morning I brought my diary to the cafe. Anil typed while I watched, sipping coffee. Sometimes he'd stop, tears in his eyes. This line, sir, it'll touch hearts, he'd say, reading aloud. Parents don't need money, they need respect. When respect dies, love grows quiet. His voice broke, and so did mine. Weeks later, the diary became a manuscript. Anil sent it to a publisher. I was scared. Who'd read an old man's pain? But a month later, Anil rushed to me beaming. Sir, it's printed. Your book, A Father's Heart, is on shelves. I held the book, my trembling fingers tracing the title. This wasn't just paper. It was my life. To my shock, people read it. They cried. They wrote letters. Your book made me call my father. I apologized to my mother after years. Newspapers called it raw and real. Sales grew. One day, Anil handed me a check. Your book's a bestseller, sir. I stared at the number, stunned. All this from my words? That night I called Meera. We have a home, Meera, a real one, no more 3-month stays. Her laughter returned, bright and alive. Arjun, God didn't forget us. We're free again. I whispered to myself, this is our second chance. Chapter 7. The Weight of Respect. Suddenly, my name was everywhere. Strangers knew me. My face appeared in small magazines. Letters poured in. Your book saved my family. I hugged my parents after reading it. Each letter was worth more than the money. Anil read them with me, his eyes shining. You've changed lives, sir, I whispered. I just wrote to survive. With the book's earnings, I bought a small house, a quiet place with a garden. When the agent gave me the keys, I felt alive again. Meera, we're home. No one can move us now. My sons noticed the change. Vikram came with Priya and Aryan. Baba, we're proud of you, he said, his voice too sweet. Stay with us longer. We'll make space. Priya added, you don't need to worry anymore. I smiled, but my heart whispered, where was this kindness when I sat alone with cold food? Samir called. Rishi read your book, Baba. He cried. He feels guilty. Come stay with us. Ma would love it. I remembered Meera's storeroom, Rishi's harsh words. I said, I'm glad he read it, Samir, but we'll live in our own home now. Rohan visited too, hugging me tightly. I'm sorry, Baba. I should have done more. Let me take care of you. I touched his shoulder. Rohan, I love you, but I'm not weak anymore. I need peace, and I've found it. I saw respect in their eyes, but it felt hollow. They respected the book, the money, the fame, not the father who raised them. One evening, in our new home, Meera and I sat together. She said, Arjun, I'm packing my bags. We'll live together again. I held her hand, tears falling. No more lonely calls, Meera. Just us. In my diary, I wrote, respect isn't given. Sometimes you create it. And when you do, the world sees you as you always were. Chapter 8. A New Dawn. The day of the book award came. I stood on a stage, holding a shining plaque for A Father's Heart. The crowd clapped, cameras flashed. I wasn't a forgotten old man anymore. I spoke. I wrote because I had no one to tell my pain. Today, I know it belongs to every parent who gave everything and asked only for love. The hall grew quiet. Eyes glistened. My pain had purpose. Outside, Meera waited, holding my book. Her tears weren't sad anymore. Arjun, you gave us our life back, she whispered. I held her close. We were together again, stronger than ever. My sons came too. Vikram said, we're proud, Baba. Samir said, I'm sorry. Rohan hugged me, tears falling. Forgive us, Baba. I wanted to forgive, they were my sons. But I remembered the lonely nights, the storeroom, the silence. I said, I love you, but Meera and I have our home now. We're free. In our new house, peace filled every corner. We sat on the sofa talking about old times, our struggles, our love. One night, I opened my diary for the last time. The pages were full, the pen nearly empty. I wrote, "We gave our children everything and they gave us silence, but life gave us a second chance. We found each other again. That's enough." I closed the diary and placed it on the shelf. Meera smiled, her hand in mine. The room was quiet, but it was a peaceful quiet. I whispered, "Meera, this is our new dawn." She squeezed my hand. "Yes, Arjun, our dawn."